welcome back to Discovery with Miss Natalie. That's me. So this morning I read a story called Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. And this book was all about these cows right here that had a typewriter, and they were writing notes to Farmer Brown about things that they wanted, and if they didn't get them, then they weren't going to give them any milk. So what we're going to do this afternoon is we are going to learn about some shapes while using this cow. So online at the website, we have all these printouts that you'll need to print out so that you can do this activity. So if you want to go ahead and find someone who can help you, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, who can help print these out for you. So the first one that you're going to need to print out is the cow. So this cow does come on one big piece of paper, but you're going to take that piece of paper with your cow on it. You're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut him out so that we can use our little friend, the cow. The next thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to print off the sheet that has the blanket shapes on it. So this one says, I want a circle blanket. So you're going to have to get this sheet that has all of the I want a whatever the shape blanket is, and then you're going to cut them into strips so that each strip just has one of the sentences on them. So that's what you're going to need to grab from online. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need any colored construction paper, preferably light colors. So orange, yellow, pinks, a light green, a baby blue. Those would be perfect colors, and I'll explain why you want it to be a light color a little bit later. And then you're going to get rectangles that look just like this. That's the shape that you want, is just a long rectangle. And then the next thing that you're going to need is any coloring utensils. I'm going to use crayons today, but you can use markers or colored pencils. If you don't want to use crayons, that's perfectly fine. And that's pretty much all you're going to need to do this activity. So the first thing you're going to do, like I said, is cut out your cow shape. Once your cow shape is all nice and cut out, what you're going to do is you're going to color in that cow to make him look a little more colorful. Because right now, he just is kind of black and white. So go ahead and grab your coloring utensil, whichever one you chose, and color in your cow to make them all nice and colorful. So you can color in the spots on your cow. You can color in his little smile if you'd like. And I know that most cows are black and white. Some of them are brown cows. Some of them also are just all black cows, all white cows. But because we're just being very creative today, you can make yours any color that you want. It doesn't have to be a cow that you typically see in a pasture eating on some grass. It can be any color your little heart desires. That's up to you. So go ahead and finish coloring in your cow so that he is ready for our super fun activity. Okay, so then when you have your cow all nice and colored in, we need to make it so that he can stand up on a table. So what you're going to need to do is just grab any paper that you have, whether it's white, just computer paper, or if you have some leftover colored construction paper, you can use that too. And you're going to want to make a rectangle like that. Make it pretty big because we're going to fold it in half. So once you have your rectangle, you're going to take it and fold it in half so that it's like this. And then when you put this down on a table, it'll stand up. Okay? So once you've done that, you're going to take another rectangle square and do the same thing. Fold it in half. so that it'll look like that. And the same thing when you put it on a table, it'll stand up. So once you have your two rectangle shapes that you folded in half, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to put a little slit on the side of the paper that was folded. So you don't want to use it, here I'll come closer. So you don't want to do it on this bottom side where there's two flaps. You want to do it up on the top where they're connected, and you're going to make just a little slit. Doesn't need to be that big, right in the middle. Just like that. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing with your other piece of paper. And if you need help cutting your strips of paper, go ahead and find someone who can help you do this, just so we make sure that it gets cut just the right amount. So go ahead and do that with your first piece. And then you're going to do the exact same thing with your second rectangle that you folded. Remember, cut it on the side that has the fold, not where it's open. So where it's closed on top. Got it? Got both your rectangles ready? Perfect. So once you've got your slits in both of your pieces of paper, what we're going to do is we're going to attach our cow to these pieces of paper so that our cow will stand up. So go ahead and grab your cow that you have, and you're going to place his front feet right into that slit that you just made in your paper. Just like that. And then open the bottom a little bit so that you'll see more of a triangle shape. You guys see the triangle right there? Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing with his back feet. So take your other piece of paper and you're just going to put his back feet into that little slit that you made. Do the same thing, open up the bottom just a little bit. So then you should have your cow that looks a little bit like that. So now when we put him on our table, he stands up. Is all your cows standing all nice and tall? Perfect. So now we're going to put him to the side, and we're going to use our fun little cow a little bit later. So now, do you remember when I had you cut out all of the pieces of paper that says, I want a, and then it says a shape, blanket? Well, that is what these are going to be. These are going to be our blankets. So go ahead and grab one of your rectangles out of whatever color that you used. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with our small white rectangles, and we're going to take our paper and fold it in half, just like that. Okay, now you're going to take one side, and this is where we're going to draw our shapes. So the first shape that we're going to draw on our piece of paper is a rectangle. So this is what a rectangle looks like. So the top and the bottom are really, really long, and then both sides are a little bit shorter. So this is what we're going to draw on our first blanket. So go ahead and choose whatever color that you would like to choose, and go ahead and draw four rectangles on your blanket. Have you drawn 4 rectangles? Very nice job. So here are my 4 rectangles on my blanket. So this is my first blanket. We can go ahead and put this down by our cow, and we will use that a little bit later. Let's go on to our next shape. So grab your next blanket, and we are going to do hearts this time. So this is what a heart looks like. Okay, so that's what I would like you to draw. So first thing that we're going to do to make our heart blanket is, again, fold our blanket in half, just like that. And then we're only going to color on one side. So grab whatever color you would like to use to make your hearts. And this time I want you to draw 2 hearts. All right, have you drawn your 2 hearts? Perfect. So here are my 2 hearts. And again, put this one down over by your cowl and we'll use that a little bit later. Let's move on to our next shape. So the next shape that we're going to do is a square. And a square is like this. It has 4 sides and all of them are the same length. Unlike a rectangle, which has long sides on the top and bottom and short on the sides, this one has all the same sides, a square. So grab your next blanket and we're going to do the same thing. Fold it in half. And then this time I want you to draw 1 square. Just 1. Okay? On whichever side of your blanket you'd like. Choose whichever color you're going to use for your blanket and draw 1 square. All right, have you drawn your 1 square? Very good. So this is my 1 square, and I'm going to add this blanket to the rest of my blankets over here. Let's move on to our next shape. So the next shape that we're going to do is a circle. Just like that. It's just a round circle. It kind of looks like a ball. And this one, we are going to draw 5 circles. So grab your next blanket, fold it in half, and then choose whichever side you want and draw 5 circles. All right, have you drawn your 5 circles? Perfect. So here are my 5 circles, and I'm going to add this blanket to all of my other blankets over here. And let's move on to our next shape. So the next shape that we're going to do is a triangle. And a triangle looks like this. For our triangle, we are going to make 3 of them, 3 triangles. So take your next piece of rectangle paper and fold it in half, just like all the others. Choose whichever side you want and go ahead and draw 3 triangles on your blanket. Did you get all 3 of them? Very good. So here is my triangle blanket. And we're going to put this one with all the others. And now we are on to our very last blanket. So this one is going to have a diamond on it. And guess how many? 6 diamonds. That is a lot of diamonds. But I would like you to draw 6 of these on your last blanket. So go ahead and grab your last blanket and we are going to fold it again in half just like all the others. And choose whichever side you would like and draw 6 diamonds on there. Have you drawn all of your diamonds? All 6 of them? Very nice job. So here are my 6 diamonds on this blanket. So now we've drawn all of our shapes on all of our blankets. You can go ahead and put your colored pencils, markers, or crayons to the side because we no longer need them for the rest of this activity. And now we're going to start using the strips of paper that has the sentences on them. So go ahead and get all of your blankets and put them in front of you so that you can see the shapes that are on them. Just like that. Okay, now I can see them, and I want to make sure that you can see all of your shapes that you made. So make sure that they face you so you can see them. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our little cow right there so you can see my cow friend. So in the story, the cows wanted these special electric blankets, but our special cow right here wants a shape blanket. And he is going to let us know by typing up which ones he wants. So the first blanket that he wants is, I want a square blanket. So that is the first one that our friend the cow would like, a square blanket. So go ahead and look at all of your shaped blankets and find the one that has a square on it. Did you find it? Perfect. Now go ahead and take that square blanket and you're just going to put it right on top of your cow because your cow is a little chilly and he would like a blanket. So that cow got his square blanket. And how many squares is on his blanket? One square. Very nice job. Let's move on to another blanket. So go ahead and take off that square blanket. Let's move this note to the side and let's see what our next note says. So the next one says, I want a circle blanket. So now he would like a circle blanket. So look at all of your blankets that you have in front of you, and do you see the circles? You found it? Perfect. Grab that circle blanket, put it on top of your cow. So now he has his circle blanket. And how many circles are on this blanket? That's right, 5 circles. So our friend the cow has his blanket of 5 circles. Very nice job. Let's move on to the next one. Next note says, I want a heart blanket. So now he would like a blanket that has hearts on it. Do you see your heart blanket? You found it? Perfect. Go ahead and grab that heart blanket, put it on top of your cow. And how many hearts does this blanket have? That's correct. 2 hearts on our heart blanket. Very nice. Let's take this blanket off him, take away this note, and move on to our next note. So the next one says, I want a diamond blanket. So now our friend the cow would like a blanket with diamonds. Do you see your diamond blanket? You found it? Perfect. Go ahead and grab that blanket, do the exact same thing, put it on top of our friend the cow. And how many diamonds are on that blanket? That's right, there are 6 diamonds on our diamond blanket. Very good. So now go ahead and take that blanket and put it over to the side. Take away our note that our friend the cow wrote us and do the next one. So the next note says, I want a rectangle blanket. So now our friend Mr. Cow would like a blanket with rectangles. Look at your blankets, and do you see the blanket with rectangles? You do? Perfect. Grab that blanket with those rectangles and put it on our friend Mr. Cow. And how many rectangles are on this blanket? 4. Perfect answer. 4 rectangles on our blanket. Let's take that one away. Remove this note, and let's go on to the very last note that our friend Mr. Cow wrote for us. So this one says, I want a triangle blanket. So the last blanket that our friend Mr. Cow wants is one that's with triangles. Do you see that triangle blanket in front of you? You do? Perfect. Go ahead and grab that triangle blanket, put it on Mr. Cow. And how many triangles are on this blanket? You got it. There are 3 triangles on our triangle blanket. Very nice job. Thank you, my friend Mr. Cow, for helping me with my shapes today. Did you all enjoy making your very own blanket shapes for your friend the cow? I sure did. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you again soon. It's going to be a little while because we have Saturday and Sunday where you can do some fun activities on your own, and then you can come on back on Monday and we are going to do something super cool because next week is all about space. So the park district has some pretty cool activities planned that have to do with space, and we're going to do a fun activity about space too. So I want you to think about, what do you think we're going to create next week? And I'll give you a hint. It has lots of colors. So think about, what do you think it could be that we're going to make? And I hope you have a great weekend, and I can't wait to see you again on Monday.